Hello and welcome! Today I wanted to share with you how I created these festive meringue treats. We have chocolate dipped wreaths, cute Santa hats and peppermint trees. They are super easy to make, so let's begin. First up, we need a basic meringue mix, and this is just 3 ingredients: egg whites, sugar and cream of tartar. You can then flavour and colour however you wish. For the meringues, I'll also be using some pop sticks. Do make sure that these are paper as they will be going into the oven. I'm also using a Pro Gel Yellow, Colour Splash Forest Green and Sugar Flare Christmas Red food dyes. The tips I'm using are a round tip, this one is a 9mm, and also a closed star tip. The smallest speck of fat can ruin the whole meringue, so I give my bowl and whisk a wipe around with either lemon juice or vinegar on a piece of kitchen towel just to make sure it's completely clean. Now that's done, I begin separating my eggs. A little tip is to do them one by one in a separate container. This way, if you accidentally break a yolk, you only have to throw one away and not the whole batch. You'll also need to weigh them as we need double the amount of sugar to the egg whites. Using a stand mixer or hand mixer, begin on a low setting. Add in a pinch of cream of tartar and that will help to stabilise the meringue and get it to its maximum volume. Then move it up to a medium speed. While that's whipping up, I'm going to weigh out my sugar. You can use either caster or granulated, but not icing sugar. I had 130 grams of egg whites, so I need 260 grams of sugar. So the egg whites have been whipping now for around 5 minutes and should now be at soft peak stage. To check, you can carefully tip your bowl. If it stays put, you're ready for the next step. If it's still a little bit runny, pop it back on for a minute or two and check again. These are perfect, so now we can start incorporating the sugar. Do this a little at a time, otherwise you'll knock out all that air that has been built into it. I pop in a spoonful at a time, let it incorporate and do another. It only takes a minute or two and will really help keep all that lovely volume. Keep on whipping for about 5 to 10 minutes until all the sugar has dissolved and you have these lovely glossy stiff peaks. It really is that simple. All we need to do now is flavour and colour, so let me show you how I created each one. We're going to start with my favourite design, the chocolate dipped wreath. I flavoured my meringue with some peppermint extract and also dyed it with some forest green and a little yellow to get the perfect minty colour. I'm using a closed star tip, this is numbered a 337 but any closed star will work, and pop this into your piping bag and fill with the meringue. To help make sure that my wreaths are piped nice and round, I'm using a circular cutter and an edible pen to draw a template on the back of my parchment paper. To stop my paper from wiggling around, I pop a little meringue mixture in each corner and place the paper on top. Now, my favourite part, time to pipe. Holding the bag at a 90-degree angle, gently squeeze out the meringue to pipe onto the paper, release the pressure and pull the bag upwards to create that little peak. Work your way around, making sure that the meringue is touching, so it stays together as one cookie. To add a little decoration, I'm using some festive sprinkles and just placing on top. I'm leaving a piece at the bottom free from sprinkles as I'm adding a fondant bow after they've cooked. Once piped and decorated, you can pop these in a preheated oven at 100 degrees Celsius or 210 degrees Fahrenheit for 45 to 50 minutes. To check if they're cooked, they should easily peel away from the parchment paper. If there's any resistance or you find they're still sticking, return to the oven for 5 to 10 minutes more and check again. These cookies have now cooled and I'm going to add some final decoration. I melted some chocolate and I made some fondant bows using a silicone mould. You could also pipe on some bows using royal icing or buttercream if you prefer. Carefully dip the meringue into the chocolate and gently shake to remove the excess. They are quite fragile little cookies, so just be extra careful. Return to the parchment paper as they will be so much easier to remove once they've set. I then just used a little chocolate on the back of my bow to attach it. Using the same mixture and piping tip as before, I'm going to show you how to create these really easy tree meringue pops. Stick the parchment down as before and pipe a small line of mixture onto the tray. Place a pop stick on top and starting about a third of the way up and around 1 inch away from the stick, begin piping a line until you get 1 inch away on the other side. Continue piping in one line, moving up towards the top, making the distance shorter. Piping slowly allows you to really control the shape, but you could always make a triangular template underneath to help you. Keep going until you fill the whole tray, and as before, I'm using some festive sprinkles to add some decoration. This time I'm leaving the top free so that I can add a fondant star once they've cooked. Again, bake on 100 degrees centigrade or 210 degrees Fahrenheit, but this time for 55 to 60 minutes. You can check these as before by gently peeling off. The back should be dry and hard to the touch, although the inside should still remain a little chewy. I made these golden fondant stars and I'm going to use a little melted chocolate on the back to stick them onto the top. Again, you could use royal icing or buttercream and pipe one on. It's all down to preference and what you like the look of, but I think these look awesome. Finally, I'm going to show you how I created these really cute Santa hat pops. I'm using the same closed star tip as before, but this time using a little uncoloured meringue in the bag. To dye the rest, I took a little of the meringue mixture and added in some red food colour and mixed this through. I then added this back into my meringue and gently mixed it in. By doing it this way, I won't knock out as much air out of the meringue. You could also pop it back onto the stand mixer, but I wanted it to be a little slacker so the hats didn't look too overly piped and the meringue kind of settled a little. It's hard to explain, but you'll see. I'm using a round tip and filling the bag and I'm ready to pipe. Begin by using the red meringue to add a small line of mixture to the tray and place a pop stick on top. Using the white meringue, pipe out 4 dots, then switch to the red and using the same technique as the trees, pipe in waves making a triangle shape, pulling away at the top. Then switch back again to the white and add a finishing touch to the top of the hat. Keep going until all the mixture is used up and bake again on 100 degrees centigrade, 210 degrees Fahrenheit, and these will take around 55 to 60 minutes. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial and it gives you some inspiration for holiday treats. I hope you have a wonderful time however you celebrate, and please do consider subscribing to my channel for more recipes, tips and cake decorating ideas.